Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Steins Gate. Today's space which be awesome, where we're of course just doing our damnedest. So, the reason Titer traveled... Hang on, get out of the fucking... There we go. The reason Titer traveled in 1975 to obtain an IBM 5100 was because he needed that function. Maybe Moeka wants to use it too. What was the function? I forget. Or maybe not. Shining Finger doesn't seem like the type who'd know about that sort of thing. Function. Or thing. That's why IBM 5100s are so rare. While talking, Suzuya keeps dropping her glance to the metal pin in her hand. She rolls it around with her fingers. With her fingies. God, if you guys watch that, if you haven't, if you don't understand what I'm referencing, and if you haven't seen it, there was a fake creepypasta. Oh god, who did it? Fucking, his name's Chris, but I don't remember. He does a lot of, it was called the Game Boy Advanced, SP Blue Edition. Look it up on YouTube. It's fucking phenomenal. It's so funny. But it's just like, he mispronounces things all the time, and it's really weird. He referred to fingers as fingies, and it's just like, and it's all in a serious tone. It's very funny. Sorry for going off on a tangent, but check that shit out. It's so good. I guess that's a habit of hers. So IBM 5100s are super rare. Maybe if I ever get one, I could sell it at a high price. That could be a good way to raise research funds. But first, I have to deal with CERN. Oh, is that it for her scene? Oh, I liked her voice. Oh well. Life in 2036 is very different from what it is today. Most people live on farms, growing their own food. All forms of commerce and communication are restricted. There's no travel, no internet, no railroad even. Most people never see another town, let alone a city. Science continues to advance, of course, but the vast majority of people do not benefit from that progress. Technology belongs to those chosen by CERN and the Committee of 300. It's very powerful, at least on the surface. There's none of the conflict you see in this era. Now that's very interesting. Hope you're not going to pull a Demolition Man and remove the concept of sex in like 2 generations. It's hilarious. The fucking, like, I'm gonna go off on another tangent about a thing that's unrelated, but have you ever seen Demolition Man? Dude from, I think it's the 80s, I think it's the 90s, I don't know. But fucking Dude Cop McBro, he goes into the future, and like he's the whole world is like this utopia where everything works and everything's awesome, and they've outlawed the police because they don't have crime or whatever. But when he arrives in the future, he's doing all these weird things, and like the people, the elderly people, the old people, sort of like gasping like, my god, I've never seen such a thing. Except they were born and lived in the time that he's from. So it's a case of really dumb writers thinking that time can change that quickly. And I don't think that's the case here. Though it certainly sounds like it. 2036. Like, I know that's not long from now, but even 10 years ago, or 2008, I think, even 12 years ago, that still wasn't very long, you know? That's only about 28 years. Not, like, I get whole world is ruled and blah, blah, blah. It's very impossible to remove history in that short amount of time. Like, you'd need 100 years, roughly. Then again, I don't know, I've never tried to erase history, but what you do is you keep the adults quiet and the kids learn, but like, if the adults are still alive and still know about the times when things weren't that bad, you kind of fall apart a little bit. There's no war. How is that possible? How did CERN resolve the situation in the Middle East? What have you got against world peace? Sounds to me like CERN's doing humanity a favor. Dude, Middle East, don't even fucking go there, man. It is such a hotbed. Okay, so yeah, this says 2010, so only 26 years after this point for them. God, Middle East, fucking European countries absolutely obliterated that area. Sounds to me like CERN's doing a favor. This Titer guy stole a time machine from CERN, didn't he? He's the bad guy here. Die in a fire, terrorist scum. The world in 2036 is governed by CERN. All nations, even America, have disbanded their armies. To put it simply, civilization has returned to an 18th century level of technology and exists under a communist system of government. Except now, that system works flawlessly. Right now, well, communism's supposed to work in theory. The only problem with it is people at the top not being communist. The people at the top of communist regimes are usually fascists and usually kill people, and usually there's a lot wrong. On paper, it's good, though. Right now, you should be asking yourselves, how is that possible? How that is possible? How does a system of government that collapsed in the 20th century exist without any discontent? The answer to that question is the reason I'm here. Yes, I'm a terrorist. There are others like me who fight against CERN. We think of ourselves as the resistance, but there is no denying that our actions are a kind of terrorism. Excuse me. Anyway, I want to hear more about the many worlds interpretation. You said it's been proven by 2036? How? I knew you were a terrorist. How many have you murdered? What if my kids are among them? Maybe I really should kill your father. Protect the future. Stop beating around the bush. Give us answers. Yeah, you're the one who... 49? Oh, okay. You're one of those old men who participated in the student riots, aren't you? Filled your head with a bunch of bullshit, and now you can't tell fact from fiction, am I right? Delicious nationalist tears, lol. CERN probably figured it out. They've got a time machine to experiment with, right? They would make you no better than Titer. That would make you no better than Titer. Where? Ah, okay. If you're willing to face the consequences, then go right ahead. Titer, question. Did World War III take place as scheduled? When was it scheduled? Why did you come to this particular time? Did you find an IBM 5100? John Titer plugging for the commies? I thought that went out of style years ago. Also, would Japanese people have the same vigor against communism as people in Canada and the US? The West, if you will. I know it's probably a big deal in Japan, but it's huge over here. We fucking can't even get a left party in any way, thanks to the Red Scare. Like, Jesus Christ. Fucking liberals are on the right side of the goddamn compass. They just are more left than the extreme right. John Titer plugging for the yeah. Thought that went out of style years ago. Thought Titer was crazy, but this Hououin guy is even crazier. Get a room, guys. World War III, lol. Isn't there supposed to be an IBM 5100 in Akiba? I've already explained my goal. In this time, I've already explained, my goal in this time is to change the future. I didn't know my goal was part of the sentence. I'm posting here to warn you of what's going to happen. Perhaps convergence will render my efforts meaningless, but if even one person pays attention, that's enough. World War III? Is that something I said on a different world line? I would like to talk to you in private. Please email me when you have the time. 312? Dog, I can't read 312. Fucking, I don't know. Please email me when you have the time. Of course, if anyone else would also like to email me, feel free. Serious inquiries only, please. All I've been getting is hate mail. Here's my address once more. egweb.ne.japan. Okay? 3 hours have passed. Man, I'm always out of breath because I'm talking so fast, so I'm always out of air. So when I do visual novels now, I run out of air and get tired and yawn. 20 hours pass since Daru started hacking. Night gives way to a refreshing summer morning. I glanced at Daru while browsing @channel on my phone. He's fidgeting even more. Now his legs are like pistons. I sneezed in harmony with the rat-tat-tat-tat-tat of his keyboard. Daru hasn't slept in over about 40 hours, but he still won't get off the computer. I was going to ask him if he'd like a break, but his entire body is exuding an aura that says, "Don't talk to me." I know all about that. I get that from my roommate sometimes. I curl up a bit and return to my phone. My discussions with John Titor just aren't making any sense. Even Titor himself seems to know about the Titor from 10 years ago. It's hard to imagine that everyone actually is conspiring against me. But how else can I explain it? I have options. I decide to email Titor directly, just as he told me to. It does matter. He audaciously exposed his own address on @channel. I guess that's his way of saying, bring it on. In my email, I question the difference between his post now and his post 10 years ago. And he's going to mention the world line thing, because that's all he said so far. Current Titor hasn't even acknowledged the latter. I vaguely remember them, but they basically went like this. In 2015, World War III breaks out. Not quite. 2015, World War III breaks out. Many people die. 2036, the world is contaminated from nuclear warfare. Yep. You traveled from 2036 to 1975 to attain an IBN 5100. Was necessary to revive technology lost in World War III. IBM 5100 has a hidden function. IBM 5100 has a hidden function, the ability to read IBM's proprietary computer language, which predates APL and BASIC. Only a few of IBM's engineers knew about it. Excuse me. But only certain IBM engineers are aware of that function, so it does not appear in the manual. Tap, 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 tap. 1998, you went to America to see your young self and your parents. His younger self and his parents in America. Also, excuse me. You were a soldier before volunteering to become a time traveler. You're American. This is how you described yourself 10 years ago. Why have you changed your story? Furthermore, in 2000, Titor correctly predicted the outcomes of some future events. The Peruvian coast earthquake in 2001, the election of a new pope, the outbreak of the Iraq War, China's advances in space, and so forth. Though he only talked vaguely about each one, they all came true. On the other hand, other predictions went unfulfilled. For example, the Y2K bug, Civil War in America, the Second Civil War, cancellation of the Beijing Olympics, the inauguration of America's first female president in 2009, that would have been 2008 if anything, and so forth. I'm not sure if you know this, but everyone listening knows this, but in the US, they have a new president every 4 years, or they at least have an election every 4 years. That is on a cycle of not... Hang on. Yes, that's on a cycle of not 2009. That's on a cycle of 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020. In November. There's more, but let's leave those aside for now. I'm going to ask him why those predictions didn't come true. Also, most of your predictions from back then didn't come true. Okay. Also, most predictions from back then didn't come true. If you're from the future, then why didn't your predictions come true? I'd appreciate a satisfactory explanation. Alright, let's send it now. Okay. Okay. I had to hit A button. If you can't answer to my satisfaction, then my current Titor is an imposter. This is the litmus test, John Titor. So what are your true colors? Oh. Good morning. Mayuri comes in. Looks like she's forgiven us for experimenting on her food. She's back to her usual smiley self. What are you doing here so early? Well, I heard you guys had stayed up 2 nights in a row, so I brought you some goodies. Excellent, good job. Though, to be accurate, it wasn't 2 nights in a row. I took an afternoon nap yesterday. I'm in peak physical condition. Mayuri starts fishing through her convenience store bag. And she takes out canned Odin. Oh yeah, right, I didn't look at that. A canned meal sold in vending machines. Each can contains a hot broth with various Odin ingredients, such as boiled fish, radish, konjac, beef, and tofu. A popular Akihabara specialty. Popularly known as the Y2K bug, at the turn of the 21st century, there was concern over the possibility of widespread computer failure when the year turned 2000. In order to save memory space, old operating systems almost always abbreviated years in the final 2 digits. Hence, when 1999 changed to 2000, the last 2 digits would change from 99 to 00. If its programming didn't anticipate that change, the computer could erroneously assume the year was 1900. It was rumored that computers in the military, financial, and government sectors might malfunction and cause worldwide catastrophe. To address this issue, countermeasures were taken in the mid-1990s to manually update every program. As a result of these countermeasures, the year 2000 problem was averted. That is true. I've actually heard stories, like, I didn't experience it myself, and people I talked to are convinced it was just a thing that, you know, was dealt with early and easily. But no, it was apparently a huge problem. Like, legitimately. I know of a few programmers that have told their story about how they were up, like, nights and nights and fucking weeks and months leading up to 2000 just working on the problem. And apparently thousands of programmers were doing this. And, you know, salute to them, because my god. The canned Odin is still warm when she gives it to me. I open the lid right away and eat the beef. Where's the beef? It's in my mouth. I'm eating the beef. Miri and I have been together for a long, long time, so she knows what I like. And when it comes to canned Odin, beef is where it's at. It's a present from Mayushi. There's 270 yen each, so savor it, okay? Also, I looked into it. The current, I don't know about back in 2000 whatever, but the current conversion as of last night is that Japanese yen, let's say 1,000 Japanese yen. 1,000 Japanese yen is roughly equal to $9.30 American, or $12.70 Canadian. So there you go. I finally did the conversion on that one. But Miyushi doesn't have enough pocket money to splurge like this all the time. Oh wait, hang on. I didn't actually read what he said. I've been getting tired of eating bananas and chicken lately. Buy these instead from now on. And Miyushi loves bananas and chicken, so she'll keep buying them. Get chicken and waffles. That shit is to die for. I consider saying you'll get fat if you only eat frozen foods, but that threat's not very effective against Mayuri. She holds so I hold my tongue. I'm like, she holds your tongue? That's a weird... What? Her high metabolism prevents her from getting fat, no matter how much she eats. Neat. Eat only lard for an entire week. Don't do that, you'll die. By the way, there's more. Next, she produces a small box with Raynet illustration. Baller. Raynet. It comes from an Oopa bottle cap as a bonus. I really wanted it, so I bought it. She sticks out her tongue with a shy giggle. Something tells me that in a few months' time, this lab will be neck deep in Oopa goods. There are only a few things right now, like the cushion on the sofa, but the number is sure to grow exponentially. My dog, you don't know shit about exponential. The entire world recently just went through an exponential growth of a thing. We're not going to talk about it, but it happened and is still happening, and it's bad. It's on the downward swing for a lot of first world nations. So how's Derek-kun? He's in the midst of a hard fight. He should at least rest a little. I mean, I never said he had to do it all at once. Derek-kun's super hacker spirit is on fire.
そこハカって言わないように。
Don't say hacker. It's hacker with a hard R. God damn it. An empty Diet Cola bottle flies whistling through the air. I'm gonna pause it there and say thank you guys so much for watching. I, of course, am Keywii. You've been great to yourself a delightful day. Goodbye.